And, wow, what a night. I wanted to thank the planning team here, Director Klein. You've really outdone yourself. Again, thank you and your team for your work here. And I want to thank the Vice Mayor. No one calls you that. They forget. They forget, don't they? They forget. I'm telling you. I remember. I remember. Thank the Vice Mayor for your tremendous leadership here. Thank you so much. And thank the actual mayor for your work as well. And thank Councilman Luna Parra for your wonderful presentation. You made the numbers and the math look digestible to people like me. I'm a words person, not a math person. This tonight, I kind of wasn't prepared for the timbre of the evening. I was expecting a different sort of debate. And I love the debate. I love that people come out of the house. I love they get involved. I say this every time. I want you out of the house. I want you to engage each other, engage us. So I was kind of surprised at the timbre of the debate. It reminded me of a movie, a science fiction film called Tenet. Came out during the pandemic. A classic, very talky. It's a talkie, very talky, but very good. It's about time travel and people waging war across times. And at one point, the main character, he says, "Why is the future attacking us?" Because they're coming back and attacking this present. And someone says, "Well, it's every generation out for themselves." And that line really stuck with me, and to this evening reminds me of that line. And I don't want to believe that for this community, because I know many of the people here who came and expressed their displeasure at what we're doing are wonderful people that care about us and care about young people and care about opportunity and have given it to people like me. So I know we're better than that. And but I got to say, though, what you're really upset about is something existential, because we're not giving you roommates. That's what it feels like to you. There's nothing preventing someone from building a mansion right next door to your house. They could do that right now and impede your way of life. What this is, though, this is the equity issue of our time. The moral character of this city is simply not aligned with the effects of housing scarcity, because it shuts people out of living, out of ownership, out of opportunity, out of being in the good life. And it's time to bring our housing supply in line with these legitimate demands of our community. And we cannot keep deluding ourselves that we don't have a scarcity problem. We talk about inequality as good people, good liberals here in Berkeley. We're obsessed with income inequality and talking about it. But you have to realize land is the foundation of wealth. And yet it remains out of reach due to the same scarcity that we prescribed, that we invented in our zoning code here. And so I do want to say this to the proponents of housing, all of us here and everyone else. This legislation we heard is not a panacea, right? But also, it's to the other people, it's not the end times either. But it does move the ball forward in addressing a legacy of zoning codes that enforce our intergenerational deprivation. Now, let's settle this once and for all. Capacity works. We've proven it. When we came in, we inherited 5 decades of no housing production at all, despite population growth. And now, after a building boom that we've launched of all the forms of housing, market rate, affordable, and otherwise, rents are at historic lows. Developers are complaining that we have too much housing, so they can't get financing from banks because they can't count the rents being high. So the ones you see being built now are like the last ones under the last interest rates and banking protocols, because our capacity is so great that it's getting hard to finance. That's a good thing. We want that problem. Now, and here too, so we lowered rents, and next, we've said this for a while now, and next we're coming for homeownership. That's next. Because the surefire way to prevent displacement, and I've dedicated so much energy to this, the surefire way to prevent displacement is become an owner. Owners don't get displaced. Now, we heard talk about a $1 million townhouse that could manifest from here, but what I'm talking about are small starter homes, small condominiums, $500,000, $550,000. That's what we can do. We have legislation in the books here called the Open Doors Initiative, written by, I guess, me, that calls for the facilitation of condo creation in these houses in exchange for affordable ownership. And next, at the Ashby BART station, the East Lot, we are bringing affordable home ownership to that lot. The people will own land again. Now, this is important, this last piece here. And this really hits the juxtaposition that we find ourselves in. Berkeley as being the birthplace, the creator of exclusionary zoning. They called it race zoning originally. It's race zoning. That's the actual name. Race zoning. Okay? It's zoning now, but it's race zoning. But we're also home of the Fair Housing Bill, adopted by Richard Nixon for the whole United States. So we're both at once, just as we are becoming a place of the super rich and super poor. And so, to the opponents, my wonderful elders in your homes, yes, you bought the houses when the getting was good. You were lucky, you were fortunate, super fortunate. And you've experienced windfall. You're millionaires now. I get that you're still the same person inside. You're still the same humble Berkeley person. However, when you pass on, who's going to buy your house? An actual millionaire. And so that leaves us as a city of two distinct lottery winners. Millionaires and the very few people who get onto the list for affordable housing. Two super lucky, rare individuals in this town dominating it. That's not going to work for our children. So think about the future. And go with the recommendation here. Well, it's extreme, as a person said, it's extremely reasonable. Extremely reasonable. And that's the future our children deserve and demand. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Moving on to Council Member O'Keefe.